Hi guys, so today we are talking all about why you should never blindly copy an Instagrammer for your outfits and for your looks. If you are completely new here, then I'll leave some videos down below for you to take a look at, but you don't need to have too much background knowledge to hopefully enjoy this video and follow along. I also offer style consults through my website, and I will leave a link to those down below along with some explanations of how my consults work. So let's get right into it. I think we've all been there where we are super inspired by a look that we see on Instagram or on a celebrity, and we try to copy it, and then we find that when we copy it, somehow it doesn't look quite right on us, and we definitely don't look like our style inspiration does in a pretty similar look. And we usually chalk it up to, well, it's not exactly the same look. I didn't do my hair exactly the same way. Maybe the sweater is too animated or too colorful and not like the sweater of the lady on the left. But really, it's not that at all, because even when we do copy a look exactly, we get the same items. We do everything just like our style inspiration. We can see that it doesn't always work, even when we do copy the look pretty much exactly. You can see Elin on the left looks really sensual and feminine in those relaxed lines, but if Svetlana tries to copy her sensual and soft look, it doesn't look the same on Svetlana, and Svetlana looks a little bit severe there on the right. Now, severe is not a bad thing. Some people spend their whole lives trying to get those chiseled bones that Svetlana has. So it's really a matter of taste, and it's also a matter of not really expecting the result that you get when you try on a certain item or try on a certain look. And even forgetting copying Instagrammers or copying celebrity style inspirations, even when you go in and you try to get a certain dress that you think will look one way, and then later, when you look at photos of the event, you find that maybe it didn't look the way that you expected it would look. So if you are someone who has been in this situation before, then this video is definitely for you. So I want to introduce you to an explanation that can finally tell us what's going on, and that can help us get a look, whatever look we want, really reliably, and so that we aren't surprised by how things look on us anymore. Different bodies are made up of different lines, and those lines are primarily dictated by the bone structure of the body. So there is a stylist named David Kibbe who came up with a system for body typing. It's absolutely not a system that tells you which style you should be going for or which look you should be going for, but more it's about knowing the lines that you are working with. So there are 5 main groups of lines. Dramatics like Tilda Swinton have long, narrow, angular bones. Naturals like Selena Gomez have a little bit of width to their bones, but otherwise they also have long bones. Classics like Zhang have bones that are not too long, not too short, and not too angular, but also not too rounded, so they're in the middle. Romantics like Marilyn have short bones, and they also have soft angles to their bones. And finally, gamines like Jenna have a mixture of opposites to their bones, so they might have some soft bones and short bones, and some long and angular bones as well. So that's pretty much all you have to know for this video. Now let's get into the fun part of comparing people wearing the same exact outfit and see just how different it looks on different body types and different sets of lines. Our first example is Meghan Markle on the left and Jenna Coleman on the right. And you can see, of course, they're wearing the same dress, but you can see that Jenna looks slightly like she's more in her own skin in that dress. It looks like it suits her better, and it fits her bone structure and her overall shapes and lines much better than it does for Meghan. So the same dress that on Jenna looks maybe a little bit elegant, a little bit cute, can look a little bit severe and stuffy on Meghan, but that's not to say that Meghan's body type is severe and stuffy. She's simply not wearing the lines that complement her body. So you can see that when Meghan wears these long unconstructed lines, some tousled hair, she just looks amazing, and she looks much more comfortable and like she's in her own skin, and like that outfit just suits her really well, and On the other hand, when she wears a stiffer fabric that doesn't have this much draping and relaxed lines and a higher neckline, it can look a little bit stiff on her. And that's because Megan is a natural body type, so she looks amazing in some unconstructed, loose lines. If you've ever had a friend who looks amazing in these kinds of lines and then you put them on yourself and you're not quite sure why they don't look quite right on you, now you know why, because it goes both ways. So you can see that Jenna, when she wears something more loose and unconstructed and some tousled hair, she can look a little bit plain, or even if it was even more unconstructed, she could even look a little bit sloppy in lines like these that are very relaxed. And when Jenna wears her own lines that are very fitted, very animated, lots of contrast, then she looks really amazing in that. And again, this isn't about a certain style of dress, but rather it's about the lines that make up the look. So if you are interested in learning more about that, I will leave a link down below to my video titled Kibbe Body Types and Personality, where I discuss how different body types can achieve the same look within their own lines. And when they don't work within their own lines, it can lead to an effect that they might not expect. Next up, we have Priyanka and Lily. So again, same dress, and I think it looks slightly better on Lily on the right than it does on Priyanka on the left. You can see that Priyanka looks a little bit uncomfortable in it maybe, and the dress just looks a little too stiff for her. But of course, that's not to say that Priyanka is stiff or that she is doomed to always look stiff in everything she wears. Absolutely not. In fact, when we change the kinds of looks that these ladies are going for, you can see that Priyanka just looks absolutely stunning in these rounded, large lines, this volume to her hair, and these soft, flowing fabrics. And when Lily does this kind of similar thing, maybe it's not what Lily was expecting. Maybe she definitely doesn't look too comfortable, and it looks a tiny bit awkward on her. But that's also not to say that Lily can't look just as sexy as Priyanka. I would say they both look equally sexy in these two images, but when you pay close attention to how the look is achieved for Lily versus Priyanka, it's very different. You can see that because Lily has some opposite elements in her bone structure, she's also mixing in some opposite elements in her look. She has sparkles on her dress, so that's going to complement some of the softness and weightlessness that she might have. And she also has a really plunging V-neck, and that might complement some of those longer bones that she might also have as a gamine body type. At the same time, she has some stiffer hair, and that might complement a bit of stiffness to her bones, a bit of angularity and structure to her bones, but at the same time, her hair also has some rounded shapes to it, so that will complement some of the softness that she has in her bone structure as well. So at first glance, we might not know exactly why Priyanka looks the way that she does on the left and why Lily looks the way that she does on the right, but once we actually get a knowledge of the lines of different body types, then we can really understand how to achieve different looks within our own lines. Next up, we have Rachel on the left, who is a romantic body type, and Nicole Kidman, who is a natural body type. So you can see that when they wear the same exact dress and do their hair the same exact way, Rachel looks just right on it, but on Nicole, it looks like that dress is just a little bit small for her lines. So that doesn't mean that the dress is physically small on her in terms of size, but it just means that it somehow doesn't fit in well with the lines of her body, and it looks a tiny bit awkward on her. That's because Nicole Kidman is a natural, so she has those long, wide bones, and she looks amazing in some unconstructed, elongated lines with some flow to them, and she looks so much better on the right than Rachel does on the left, because now we've switched. Now Rachel is wearing not her own lines, so she's wearing those long, elongated lines that don't really complement her body type, and she looks maybe a little bit plain and a little bit dragged down by those long, loose lines, but on Nicole, they look just right, and she looks very elegant and really amazing there on the right. Our next example is Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton is the pinnacle of elegance. But for some reason here, her look on the left doesn't exactly scream elegant, and it looks a little bit not put together on her. Really, It's actually really surprising to see Kate look like this because I usually see her looking very put together. And that same dress on Angelina Jolie looks very put together and looks just right, and Angelina looks much more elegant than Kate Middleton does on the left. But you guys know it always goes both ways. Now, if we switch the looks, you can see that Kate Middleton is her elegant self. She's got the smooth outline because she is a classic body type. And when Angelina Jolie wears something similar with minimal detail, it just looks quite stiff on her and it doesn't look right, and Angelina doesn't look too elegant in that at all. Next up, we have Queen Latifah and Karlie Kloss. On the left, Queen Latifah is a natural. She has long bones, but she also has some width to her bones. And on the right, Karlie Kloss is a dramatic, similar to Tilda Swinton, with long, narrow bones and a lot of angularity to her bone structure. So those long, narrow lines just look amazing on her. But when we take a look at that same dress on Queen Latifah, we can see that maybe it's a little bit too severe on her, maybe a little bit too stiff for her, because her lines are more relaxed. Her silhouettes have a bit more width to them. And of course, she looks amazing when she wears some loose, unconstructed silhouettes with some draping and some asymmetry there. Also looks nice on her. And she just looks much more comfortable and much more like herself there. And I think she looks great. And finally, Svetlana and Elin. So you can see that they're both wearing the same dress. They have their hairstyle the same way. But on Elin on the right, that looks just right on her because, again, she is a natural. So she's a soft natural. And she looks amazing in some slightly unconstructed lines with some lightweight fabric and some soft hair. And that just adds to her beauty, her natural beauty that she already has. And for Svetlana, those lines, those softer unconstructed lines, the tousled hair doesn't really complement her that much because they work against her bone structure. And of course, I don't know which look Svetlana was going for, but most of the time when we wear some soft fabric, some tousled hair, I know that when I do that, I want to look very feminine and soft. And actually for Svetlana, it creates the opposite effect because it highlights the angularity and the sharpness of her bones, and it looks very severe on her. And when she does something a little bit counterintuitive, when she wears some stiffer fabrics, like on the right, some metallic finish and some pretty structured looks with some bold liner, she looks so amazing. She actually looks much, much softer there and more elegant on the right than she does on the left because she's working with her own lines. And this communicates a sense of awareness about our own bodies as well. So she looks amazing there on the right. But of course, it always goes both ways. When Elin tries to style her hair in a more severe way and wear some metallic fabrics and things like that, and wear that monochrome look like on the right, her beauty is not really highlighted in the same way as it is in those soft, unconstructed lines. So yes, it is all about the bone structure that you have, and that's going to determine the lines that you're working with for your looks. Again, it's not about your personal style, and it's not so much about one body type has to wear this kind of style and another body type has to wear that kind of style. It's more about the tools that you're working with, the lines that you're working with to create the looks that are going to magnify and accentuate your beauty and also work with your body instead of against it. So that is all I have to share today. If you are new here, then I'll leave some resources below that you could learn more about this body typing system. And if you are an old timer, let me know if you enjoyed this video. I hope you did. I thought it would be sort of fun to just sit down and look at some celebrity examples and compare outfits, and it's a little bit of an easy video to watch and a fun video to watch, hopefully. So I hope you had fun. I had fun making it, and leave some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you next time. Oh yes, and I will leave links to my consults down below, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.